Apple has an advertising style that's as iconic as it is copied. The internet is full of parodies and lookalikes from competitors, yet somehow the magic in Apple's commercials isn't spoiled. Even though we know the formula, it never ceases to blow our minds to see the newest iPhone commercial come out. But why? What makes Apple special? A big reason is thanks to the guidance of Mike Markkula. He was an early investor in Apple and was the vice president of marketing. In 1977, when Apple was first getting off the ground, Markkula wrote a 3-point marketing philosophy that has been at the forefront of the company ever since. Apple's marketing focus, he says, should be empathy, focus, and impute. With empathy, Apple strives to connect with the customer's feelings. While others talk about detailed specs and processor power, Apple talks a lot about battery life, the way it feels in your hands, and the way it will connect you with others. Focus. Focus on accomplishing the main goals and eliminate unimportant opportunities. While other companies make a million different variations of their products, Apple only makes a few. When Steve Jobs came back to Apple, he cut down their number of product lines from several dozen to 4. By refocusing Apple on a few products, they were able to create a superior experience. Impute. This is possibly the most important principle of Markkula's marketing manifesto. Markkula wrote, "People do judge a book by its cover. You may have the best products, but if you present them poorly, they will be perceived poorly. If you present them in a creative, professional manner, you will impute the desired qualities." In other words, the way an iPhone ad is presented is the way that the iPhone will be perceived. And that seems obvious, but this means that even the colors of the ad, whether the space is cluttered or clean, the tone of voice of the narrator, the animations, control the way the iPhone is viewed, even though all of these have nothing to do with an iPhone's actual performance. And this can either hurt or help a company, which is why Markkula made sure Apple kept it as a guiding principle to their business. Fast forward 40 years later, Apple is the master at using this to their advantage. If you watch an Apple ad, you can find everything you need to know from the first few seconds, even if the audio is muted. Now that we know the 3 philosophies Apple uses to advertise, let's talk about the types of advertisements Apple does in the life cycle of one of their products. They pretty much fall into 3 categories. The introduction. This is the first video, and it's basically a hype video. Pumped up music, pretty screens everywhere, basically just showing off the phone.
iPhone 7 makes the things you do most even better. It's the best iPhone we've ever made.
The specs. This is the second video they'll make. If they can get Johnny Ive to do this one, that's the best. The point of this video is to make people feel like their old device is outdated and slow. A ton of talk about redesign and a lot of comparative words. And they'll also use pretty sounding but ultimately meaningless words like color gamut, advanced sensors, and unique.
To put it on a much larger scale, we designed with 78% more screen area, a greater level of precision. We completely re-engineered the touch subsystem, increasing the sensitivity of the sensors, doubling the touch refresh rate. The highest to greater, specifically designed for a much larger display. And see more, precise multi-touch technology, an entirely new 4-speaker architecture in more and in different ways, flexibility. We've developed a new technology, more productive, more creative, an entirely new scale.
After the intro and specs, it's all about narrative. This is just classic content marketing. And what is that? Basically, it's when you tell a story where your product just so happens to facilitate or cause something to happen, but there's no explicit promotion. Pay attention to this video because it's a classic case of content marketing.
1,000 times good night.
Oh, you're watching your daughter at a Romeo and Juliet play and capturing that special moment? Well, catch it better with the new iPhone. This is a really good way to sell anything. This phase continues through the rest of the product lifecycle until they announce the next device, at which point we come to distancing. This really isn't an ad, but it's necessary for advertising. This is where they wipe all the evidence of the old advertisements from their channel and their webpage. This is so customers don't get distracted wondering if they want to buy a refurbished iPhone 5 when the iPhone 7 is out. And this is also so you never realize they've been saying the same stuff for years. That's pretty much it. Now you know how Apple advertises. Thanks for watching.